it's Helen here, and welcome to episode 4 of Health, Wealth, Wine and Other Things. Now today, I don't really know how to sort of headline this one. I suppose it's a little bit of a love letter to those people who are maybe in a similar position to me and they're not loving themselves right now. They are a bit fed up with the choices that they're making and they don't like the way they look and they don't really know where to go and what to do next. I feel exactly like that, but I do have a little bit of an action plan that I'm going to share with you. And I'm thinking that if I say this on here and share this with you, then that's going to be my sort of accountability, because I've written this list here of things that I need to do. And I sort of do that almost every weekend so far, in recent times, and it hasn't really come off. And I keep beating myself up and keep having a go at myself, keep getting fed up with myself, and then that drives me back to the old habits because I just feel sorry for myself. And I'm in this vicious circle of just not improving things. So I thought I'd run through some of the issues that I'm having. It might help someone out there to think, God, I'm not alone, because you're not, honestly, I'm sure you're not. It helps me to get it out there, a little bit of a mini rant, and to become more accountable to myself, but accountable to you guys as well, because I've got to do something about this. So it all started yesterday. So I needed to go shopping to get a couple of bits and pieces. The weather here is amazing at the moment, but it's just turning, and I've got a couple of pairs of like tracksuit bottoms, thin ones, that when I'm sitting in the house, it's quite cool in here. And it's too cool for shorts inside, but warm outside, 28 degrees outside, but it's really cold in here because it's an old cottage, and oh God, you've got my fridge here in the background, didn't realise. The walls are really thick, and so it keeps the cool in. So sitting around in shorts is not great, so I needed some sort of like tracksuit bottoms or some leggings or something that are nice and thin, and a couple of other bits and pieces. So I went into the shopping centre yesterday to get a couple of things. And, oh God, who else hates looking in the mirrors when they go to these shops? And I just looked at myself and I just cried. It was like, oh my God, Helen, what do you look like? I wish I'd have done this trip to go and get some new clothes a little while ago, because it might have, it's going to be an emotional one today, I reckon. I might have kicked my ass a little bit sooner. So, honestly, I was absolutely repulsed when I looked in the mirror, and this is not something that's just happened overnight. It's been happening for a little while. Since I came to Spain, basically, my weight's just gone up and up and up. My self-esteem's gone down and down and down, and instead of doing something about it, I've just drunk more wine, eaten more crap, and just buried my head in the sand, I suppose. And there's been lots of other things that have contributed to me feeling that way, lots of stresses that I had to deal with. But I've got to the stage at the moment where I'm lying in bed, and I admitted this to my friend the other day, and just thinking, God, am I going to wake up tomorrow? Because I've been eating so much crap and drinking so badly, this can't be doing my body any good. Am I going to have a heart attack in my sleep and die? Okay, I know that is me being really dramatic, and I can be a drama queen sometimes, and I'm sorry if I'm being a little bit flippant by saying something like that, but, you know, I do lie there, and I do worry about my health, and thinking, what is it going to take for me to actually do something about this? Because for most of my life I've been fit, healthy, and not really overweight. I went through a patch when I had a bit of a bad time, and I don't know whether you remember when I did Ironman. It was 8 years ago now. Over 8 years ago. No, it was 8 years ago. And I lost some weight for that. But I'm heavier now, I think, than I was at that point. And I keep starting, and I keep starting, and I keep starting. And I think I made some joke last time on my Facebook page about this being take 577 or whatever it was. And I just feel like it's like all talk all the time, and I don't seem to. Consistency is a big thing. It was one of in fact, I've got over there written on a piece of paper over there, consistency and discipline are my two words for the year, as well as having fun. And I've been having too much fun and not enough discipline and consistency. Consistency is so true in everything that we do. In business, if you're not consistent with your work, then you're not going to be successful. If you're not consistent with healthy eating, yes, okay, you can have, if it's an 80-20 rule, that's fine. But if you're not consistent with your healthy eating, then it's not going to work. If you're not consistent with exercise, it's not going to work. If you don't train consistently, you're not going to be able to do a half Ironman. You're not going to be able to do a half marathon. You're not going to be able to do an Ironman. These are, obviously, some of your goals will be different, but these are the things that I wanted to do. In fact, I think it's actually this weekend was the weekend I wanted to do my half Ironman. God, I'd forgotten that. I'd actually be doing it right now. But instead, I drank more wine, I ate chocolate muffins, I ate crisps, and my portion sizes were far too big. I suppose the one good thing is that I know what my problems are, but isn't it difficult trying to turn those around? Have one slip up, and then that then gives me the excuse to slip up the next day, and then I go, I'll start again on Monday. And I know that I've been on here on my Facebook page on social media over and over again saying every day is a fresh start, every day is a new day to start again. And you shouldn't wait until Monday to start something, whether it's wanting to do a new business or whether it's wanting to get yourself in shape. So yeah, I suppose this is just me just downloading it all, putting it out there, and asking who else is in a similar position. I'd love to know what your strategies are for dealing with it, because I could do with some help there. But I thought maybe I'd share some of the strategies that I've actually written down, and let's see whether I can actually follow some of these through. I'm just trying to see whether there's any other things that I needed to talk about, but no, I mean, I'm pretty much covered it. And it's really starting to get me down now. My weight is, it's really unhealthy. You might look at me now and say, Helen, you don't look too bad, but if I was to go stand over there, if you're watching the video and see me, I rarely these days show a full length photo of me, because I'm just too embarrassed. It's, I'm a qualified nutritionist. I know what I have to do. I know the right ways to do things. But for some reason, this isn't playing ball. And it's something that needs to be sorted. So here are some of the things that I think I'm going to do. Now, these are the things that I have been doing the last few weeks, but it hasn't really worked out yet. But I just think I'm being accountable. I'm out there, putting it out there to you guys. Maybe this time we might succeed. So number one, I'm going to do myself a plan of exercise. I'm going to write it in my diary, and I'm going to try and stick to it as much as I can. And that's going to be, I really, really want to do a half marathon at the end of January. I'm a little bit nervous about how close that is and whether it's going to be realistic to do. Sorry, there's a fly whizzing around. It's fly season here. Get away. But I'm going to go for it, and let's see what happens. And my sister's just told me that there's a half marathon in Stafford in March, so that might be an option. So, plan exercise. I'm going to plan my food out. And the one thing that I really need to make sure I'm doing is that I'm making, because it's so hard, because I'm here on my own at the moment. Cooking for one person is difficult. I never cook for one. I usually cook for 2 or 3. But then I end up eating everything for 2 or 3 people. Hurry up and come home, Tim, so that you can start eating with me, and I will eat less, I'm sure of it. And what I should be doing is portioning it off, putting it in the freezer so it's there ready as a separate portion, but I've not been doing that, so that's something that I need to do. I think I need to find a photograph. I asked my friend if I could send her a photograph of me once a week, how I am in shorts and a crop top, showing my fat for everyone to see. Well, I'm not going to share it with everyone yet, but at least then it's accountability. I send that to her once a week, and she can see, well, I can see the progress, because sometimes it's not all about being on the scales. It's not all about, it's quite often mainly about how you feel in your clothes, because you notice it in your clothes, and also your measurements. Those are the key things, really. I've just realised that I've got WhatsApp on here and Messenger, which is making beeping sounds. So the photograph's really helpful, because you can start to see the progress better there. So a photograph and measurements every week. I will weigh myself, but I'm not going to obsess over the weight, because I'll be doing strength training, and that obviously Yes, it burns fat, but it also builds some muscle. So anyway, what the weight side of things isn't because you can fluctuate weight for 2 or 3 pounds in a day. So it's more about the photo and the measurements, I think, for me, and the clothes. Meditation's a good thing. I don't do enough of it. In fact, I hardly do it at all. And I get very impatient and I'm not very restful. I'm definitely not very patient. So I think finding a good meditation, if anyone's got any recommendations, then that's something that I need to have a look at. I'm going to set myself some affirmations that are focused around health and exercise and healthy eating, and really focus on whenever I'm feeling like I'm going in the wrong direction, and maybe saying those to myself, so that's sort of driving my head and my mindset in the right direction. I have been doing some manifestation with a woman called Jessica Heslop. Find her on YouTube. She's got a wonderful voice and I really, really like her manifestation. So I'm going to try and incorporate those into my week as well. I did start to do it in the mornings, just in bed, lying there when I wake up, and just put her straight on, listen, and it's 10 minutes and it's done, but she's really powerful. So I'm going to try and do that. Discipline. So being able to stick to all of that is discipline, and really maybe discipline should be incorporated into the affirmations, and consistency, and maybe consistency needs to be incorporated into those affirmations as well. So that's where I'm at. Thought I'd share it with you. I'm sure I'm not the only one out there, and I'd love to hear your stories, your thoughts, even if they're private messages, please. Or the one thing I did do that was really positive this week, though, is I've ordered myself my supplements, because I've not been taking my supplements religiously, and I'd run out and I've not reordered. So I've now got my supplements from my new company coming, and I am so excited about those because there's some amazing ones in there. So I'm going to report back on how I get on with those. It's going to be a little while before they arrive, probably next week. So I'll be on those as soon as possible, because I'm just feeling like I need nutrition. I need goodness coming into my body because I feel toxic. Does anybody else feel like that when they just feel toxic? So yeah, I'm sorry, my phone's beeping in the background. I forgot to turn it on to silent. So that's where I'm at. So please share where you're at. And let's do this together, because I know that hopefully this has helped somebody realise where they're at. Hopefully my little strategies might help you, but there might be some strategies that you've got that will help me too, and I'd really, really appreciate that. So thank you for listening. I hope it's been useful. This was health, wealth, wine and other things. Wine, yeah, that's my downfall. But anyway, have a great week, and I'll see you soon.